Welcome to Through the Table Podcast with Brian, JL, Tom, Rick, and Russ.
I think we should have a NostraTOMus segment. What do you think is going to happen just in the world of professional wrestling as we come into the end of this year into 2022?
Well, I have a feeling that a year from now, the wrestling landscape is going to be changed in a very, very interesting way. And I think all these cuts, I think it's leading to something. I really do. I mean, clearly Triple H doesn't want to take part anymore. Shane doesn't want to take part anymore. And Vince looks like, honestly, death has already started to chew on him. I really believe by this time next year, they will be not run by the McMahon family anymore. And it will be purchased. I really believe it's Disney. Yeah. I 100% believe it's Disney. And I've been saying that the entire time, but I 100% believe it's Disney.
That's crazy.
It is, but the thing about it is Disney has been expanding their empire, and the WWE, though the fans want them to go back to an Attitude Era, you can't recreate it, but they want to do something like that.
Yeah,
they've really maintained that PG feel, that family feel. And over the last several months, they've been really going after that younger demographic. They don't care about the 18 to 49 anymore. They want younger, and they want older than 49. So you take your kids, your grandkids, and so forth. It's just gearing up for a sale to Disney, in my opinion, which means Roman Reigns is going to be a Disney princess, and good for him.
That made me think that like NXT 2.0 should have been called NXT Attitude and give the fans that NXT attitude and then have everything else be the family friendly stuff.
But it's all under that same umbrella, and the fact that it's like this sparkly, happy-go-lucky logo now with this shiny, every single light in the arena is on at full blast. I mean, it reeks of Disney. It really does.
See,
and I wouldn't be surprised if they've been talking this whole time.
See, the thing is though, is with the NXT, and I'm sure that still, it's still with Disney, but they have been trying to get edgier with stuff on NXT. Like, there's a lot of there's been like dick jokes, and they've let Steiner swear a couple times, and I'm trying to think what else. They've just been doing the Tony D'Angelo gimmick where he had like 1 week at one of his promos, he has some dude locked in a trunk. So they're basically insinuating that the dude, he's going to kill that guy later or whatever. And there was he was on some stupid there's this other girl that does a talk show.
Yeah, I've heard about
on
that
NXT.
One, yeah.
Her name's like Lash Legend.
Lash, yep.
So Tony D'Angelo was on it this week or whatever, and he comes out and it was like something like how did you get on my show? And
it was horrible.
He's like, I talked to your producer, and and like the producer comes out and he's like, how are your kids? Like, Jeff and Fred doing, like, it was like he was doing like the thing where he, that's a nice house you have there on, 25 Elm Street. Like he was just doing that whole thing. Like, I know where you live. Like, that's why I'm on this show. So they're doing like edgy stuff like that. But I don't know.
Well, Goldberg for the Saudi show, his promos were to kill Bobby Lashley.
Right. He was literally, yeah.
Well, that's just because he was working a match with them, and there's always a chance that's going to happen with Goldberg in the ring.
He's telling the truth.
Yeah.
I may
that
kill
way,
him, I don't know.
Yeah, that way, if it happened, it's like, I told you.
Can't deny that one.
No, I really believe it though. And I really truly believe that it's going to be Disney, and I can see Disney, and we've said this before on these podcasts, I can see Disney setting up a Hall of Fame, an actual physical Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
I can see them setting up, a whole WWE section.
Yep.
I'm okay with that. That'd be kind of awesome. I as a wrestling, like a lifelong wrestling fan, a physical Hall of Fame would be amazing. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I hope it doesn't take Disney buying it, but
it sure seems like they're not going to do it on their own.
No.
Right. And it's like I said before,
by now I would figure.
Right.
Yeah. No, I thought about this. Universal makes sense too, but they
have Universal Studios, they have Peacock, NBC, et cetera.
Yeah, but there's something about Disney that you have two of the biggest companies in the world coming together. It just makes sense to me.
Disney always likes to pay the most.
And these aren't things, by the way, these aren't things in the business world that just like manifest overnight. I mean, these are conversations that have probably been ongoing. Remember, Universal offered them what, 400 million or whatever it was, 400 billion, whatever the number was.
It was like 4 billion or something.
Yeah. And so there could be ongoing talks there. Disney definitely has the money.
Oh yeah.
These are conversations I'm sure have been ongoing for months at this point, maybe a year, which could be why all these releases are happening. You clear up the books.
Has to do it, I bet, because he's a business guy. He's not a wrestling guy.
Yeah.
They hired him to do it.
Yeah. You're clearing out the books. You're making it easier. So when the sale happens, it's an easy transaction.
Yeah.
And that's something that you'd probably see Q1, Q2. Q1 might be early. But actually Q3 really is when
Q2, because of Mania, I bet they wouldn't do it then.
No. So Q3 is when you see a lot of these mergers.
Yeah. Mid to late summer, I bet.
Yeah. That's when you see a lot of these deals go down. Like a lot of the telecom ones happen in the summer.
Right.
Things like that. So
because July 1st is what they consider the new year for a lot of the companies.
Yeah.
It's not January 1st, it's July 1st is when the money year starts. So
yeah,
that's why usually you see things happen then. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
If it happens, it's going to happen in that time frame, I bet.
Something we haven't discussed. So for a company that doesn't like to mention or acknowledge AEW, they sure had a lot of references to it Monday night with Kevin Owens and Big E.
I heard what Kevin Owens said.
I missed that.
So Kevin Owens had a promo. He comes out and he says, whether I'm here for 3 months or for 3 years. And Big E, talked about Mount Rushmore, made a reference to Mount Rushmore, which was the group with the Bucks.
Right.
So why would they do that if he didn't re-sign?
He hasn't yet.
But why would they even test those waters?
I mean, maybe Owens just did that for the hell of it. You know what I mean? Maybe that's
Charlotte
what that was.
Went off
maybe
script. What's he going to say to Kevin Owens if he decides to go off script?
And not for nothing, same thing. All right, he's there. His contract ends in 3 months.
Get rid of me now? Okay, sure.
Right. I mean, you know what I mean? at this point, he's going to do whatever he wants. I mean,
Or they're trying to get buzzwords out there so people tune
Right.
in and see what's going on.
I mean, they didn't, I remember Sami Zayn said something about
He said something
literally
once, yep.
dropped AEW at some
Yeah.
point on a Raw.
Right. He did. Mm-hmm.
But-
You're better off to acknowledge that there's people out there that never acknowledge it ever.
Right. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you don't have to say something all the time, but
No, just once in a while.
I don't know why this just popped in my head. Monday Night Raw. Has anyone noticed Damian Priest has a new gimmick?
No.
Okay,
No.
so he's not the Archer of Infamy anymore.
Oh,
He comes out and his Titantron when
So
it
that's why he
first
has a new
starts.
song too, I heard.
Yeah, he has a new song, and the big Titantron comes out and it says Damien, and it's all like, scratched like font, you know what I mean? And it's
Mhm.
like an outline of him, but it's all in red, and like
Okay.
this evil music starts playing. And then it flashes again to Priest, and it's his outline, but instead of it being all like red and black, it's white and like angelic.
Hmm.
And then when the music kicks in and he starts walking, his Titantron is literally like half and half. So it's like
Oh.
Damien, and it's the red like devil, and then it says Priest. So it's the last couple of matches he's had, it's basic, face, shines, heel, whatever. And then like right before the finish, the heel does something to like piss him off, and he like snaps. He like, it's like the Ken Shamrock like kind
Yeah.
of thing. And that's what it is. And then like, it's the Damien part of, it's like T-Bar hit him with a chair like a couple weeks ago, and he like for the next 5 minutes, and that's what it was. And it's like, oh, he's in a different zone, or you know what I mean? Not so much.
Yeah.
It's not like Mankind, you know what I mean? Like you play the music and he'd like relax, but
Yeah.
like he'd sit there and stare at the camera, and then like he'd slowly snap out of it. But it was just like, why? He was getting over as like, he really didn't have a gimmick,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, it like everyone says, like the best gimmick is that person turned up to 11. He just seemed like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
says and wears to the ring, like you can see, like that's what he would probably wear outside, because he looks like kind of a douche, you know what I mean? And it's just
Uh-huh.
you know what this means? If he changed his gimmick, 3 months from now, he is released.
I mean, and that's
Probably.
honest, and that's, I wouldn't doubt. I can't
I don't
say
doubt anybody getting released
right,
nowadays.
at this point, other than Roman Reigns. I think anybody's on the chopping block.
Yeah. You come up from NXT, and you get a little bit over, you change your gimmick, you get everything changed, and next thing you know, you're gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if they're just trying to weed out all the Triple H guys, you know what I mean, that he brought in. But
Almost seems that way.
It really does. But yeah, I'm trying to think if anybody else's gimmicks have been kind of. I mean, we all saw how Bearcat went, and Demolition Helmet carrying cross.
Demolition Cross,
Just about.
Axe, Smash, Crush, and Cross.
Terrible.
That would have worked then.
It would have.
Yeah, definitely would have worked then.
What a great stable. He's about 30 years too late.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully he goes back to Impact where I don't have to see him. That would be dope. I really hope. I really don't want to see him on my Wednesday nights,
I don't think you will.
because literally AEW is the only thing that I enjoy, and even some of that it's still not everything I enjoy on that show, but it's it's like 75% compared to watching Raw's 35%.
That high? Wow.
I know, I was going to say 35 is being nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, I do enjoy the Roman Reigns stuff, and that's pretty much all throughout the show. I love. I mean, I I do think Paul Heyman's on a whole different level than almost anybody on that show right now.
Anybody, any show.
Right. He's amazing. So I do enjoy it, but that's it. There's really not much else on those shows that are watchable. It's I don't know.
I guess we can push into a couple of the AEW topics we had, where we could do the Samurai del Sol trying to mention John Huber and spelling his name wrong, and then everybody going off on him.
As they should.
So
I don't know if
I don't think he did it intentionally.
I
don't think he did
that
either.
that was a little extreme.
Yeah,
because who does that? They must hate him for another reason.
probably.
Because that I mean, or at least maybe joke about it first before you kind of like. But they went full, just like.
I didn't even give him a chance. Yeah.
No, none.
It sounds to me from the comments that were made, like that Amanda Huber made and some of the other people made, it sounds to me like he's the type of guy. And again, I don't know anything. I've never met the man, but just going by the comments, by looking at that evidence, it just sounds like he's the type of guy that kind of takes a cause and makes it about him. And here he is praising John Huber. Look at me, I'm in AEW. John Huber would be proud, whatever. It's like, you didn't need to do it.
Right,
and so the fact that he didn't spell the name right was probably like, this asshole again. This asshole jumping all over. He's gonna use John's name to get himself over here.
Right. That's
just what it looked like.
That's exactly what I thought.
I agree. Yep.
Yeah, maybe he was just like, all right, what can I say that will make this kind of not special, but maybe like it'll give me some traction in AEW.
Exactly. Yeah.
100%.
And honestly. Oh, go ahead, Tom.
No, go.
I was just gonna say that match, like both of them were sloppy as hell. That was.
Oh yeah, it was.
I mean, I know maybe the chemistry was the one thing was Aerostar just like wasn't even tagging at one point. And he just said. Gonna start coming in to do it.
In Mexico, you don't. You just roll in when you want to. So he's so used to those rules still. He doesn't care.
He just there was times where he just was just jumping in there and even at one point I think there was once or twice where Samurai or Khalid, whatever you want to call him, just like had to remind him to tag in.
Yeah, he's like putting his hand up.
It was I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
I hated the fact that he was trying to do the whole Lucha House Party thing with the,
Well, I think wasn't he was doing that before though, right?
He was.
Before he
did that in Mexico,
that was I remember him doing that like Dragon Gate.
Yep, he always did it. He always did that stuff. It's just he took that part of it and made it Lucha House Party.
Right.
I think he also did it just so people would know in case they don't remember who he was in the crowd.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
So
that's him.
Do we think he'll be back, or could this be a one and done?
I think it might be a one and done.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he's probably going to have to go to Mexico.
Just by all the heat that he got, I don't see him coming back in.
Yeah.
Same with Aerostar. But his is for an obvious other reason.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the thing with the thing with Aerostar is he's just a straight up luchador. You know what I mean? He's not like if you put him with other luchadors, he'll tear the house down.
Oh, if he's in there with someone else, it would have worked.
Right.
It would have worked fine. Like put him in with Dante Martin, and they would have had a wild match.
Right, but you're gonna
FTR just doesn't do that.
Right, FTR is no like, and FTR is great. I'm not a fan of them. I don't really like them, but that I do appreciate their work.
No, they're solid
and
workers.
They just like even they couldn't save that match.
There's nothing they could do.
Yeah, it was.
Aerostar's diving off the here and landing on his head, getting It's like you try to catch him, and it's like you can't catch him because he's overshot everybody. That was bad.
That was So I mean,
I'd be surprised
I don't
if you
think
see
they'll
him
be
again.
back. But honestly, I think that's why he did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He tweeted that out because hopefully, if a lot of people like this, and this
Mhm.
tweet gains some traction, maybe maybe I'll luck out and I'll get a job with these guys.
Sure.
Always spell check.
Yeah, he definitely didn't.
And I mean, who knows? Maybe Samurai del Sol and John Huber were good friends or whatever. But I think that's just by his wife's Amanda's tweets. I feel like that's what it was. It was just like this dude's just trying to use my husband's name
Yeah.
for some clout because
Totally.
like I can't I've never seen this guy at my house. You know what I mean? Like where they always say like Biggie was always hanging out over there or whatever. It's
Right. Exactly.
And
Yeah,
to be
'cause
honest with you, if
people
you're
kinda,
really good,
people kind of clapped back too with like, what about this or what about that? And then she was just like, well, Miro would talk to me every day. It's just so
Miro's at the hospital
Yeah.
and all, yeah.
different rules for different people.
Mhm.
And if he was really good friends with John Huber, he's got to know how to spell the name.
Yeah.
Like if you're friends with a Sean, if it's Sean or Shawn. You
Right.
just know
Yeah.
if you're close with somebody. It just spoke of the fact that he wasn't close to him. He shared locker rooms with them. I'm sure they interacted here and there,
Oh,
but
sure.
it just spoke
Mhm.
of somebody who isn't close with somebody and who was just trying to have a me moment. He just
For sure.
look at me.
Mhm.
And it may have come across a little too harsh, but I think with Amanda Huber and all them being in the know, I don't think it would be that harsh at all.
Right.
Because they saw right through what he was doing.
Mhm. Yeah.
I want to know if maybe like Amanda said something or like to Jared, you know what I mean? Just like I don't know, but I kind of feel like Jericho just to come in like that, like somebody, I feel like someone might have said something to Jericho.
Jericho knows how Callisto was because they did work together as well in the
Right.
WWE.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, maybe that's what it was too. Maybe he just, all right, I know you.
Could be.
I'm gonna call you out on because Jericho at this point probably don't care about much anything. You know what I mean?
Well, he's not going anywhere. They're not
Right.
firing him, so he can get away with
'Cause
whatever he wants.
They're taking the time to how many for Jericho alone, how many tweets must he get?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
he's taking
Thousands.
the time
Right.
to do that.
Mhm.
What
That's
what
true.
did Jericho say? Because I don't think if I did, I don't remember. What did he say?
He because Kalisto said that I talked to Brody and then John before I went out there, and Jericho said like basically you should have spelled you didn't spell his name right. It wasn't a very long tweet, but it was just something like I think it was just something like you didn't spell his name right. And then that's when like Amanda kind of piggybacked and was like, if you were such good friends,
Yeah, he
know
said
how
you
to spell his name.
didn't spell it. You spelled his name wrong. That's exactly what he said for the tweet.
That's
And then she said, "Why is that? I feel like a reasonable to expect the level of respect of spelling someone's name right if you want to name drop them." Those are the first two
And
tweets that they said.
apparently Jericho responded like minutes later. So like he was on top of it. Like it wasn't like a couple days later. He was just kind of like, oh, by the way.
right.
And that's
and it's weird because it's like I can't see Jericho following Samurai del Sol on Twitter. So
No.
so that had to I mean, unless maybe he has like a like I know you can follow certain words or maybe he just follows like a Brody Lee, the term Brody Lee or whatever, the name Brody Lee on Twitter, and maybe that way. But it just it's kind of weird how it was so fast. because like I just can't, and like you guys said, he probably gets how many friggin' tweets is he gets a day or notifications, and
Probably
for him
so many.
right,
You don't even see half of them, I'm sure.
right.
But that's such a important situation that happened because that turned the AEW locker room into a family, and they all rallied around each other, especially around Amanda Huber. So you have Kalisto coming in for the first time, throwing that out there. You look like an asshole.
Yeah.
Right.
I think he would have looked like an asshole if he spelled the name right, to be honest with you.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like, keep you weren't there. Stay in your lane.
Mm-hmm.
It just made it worse and more noticeable because he spelled it wrong.
Right.
See, what I'd be interested to see now is if he tweeted anything out after Brody died.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, did he go back a year and see if he mentioned anything? Because
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if just that alone would, I guess, could tell you.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good point.
Wow. Yeah. Big time.
Not something we can do right now. And look.
No. See, this is why we need like a producer in the background who can just go and search the internet as we're discussing.
Exactly. Get one of the interns on it.
Right. Well, what was the date of? Well, let's find out.
But he passed away.
It was day after Christmas.
Right?
Yep.
Day after Christmas.
Yep.
See if I can. I'm going to try this.
Callisto loves to tweet, so there could be a ton of tweets on there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've been scrolling for a minute, and I'm only at September.
There's nothing else to do when you're sitting in catering and you can't eat because Nia Jax already took everything.
Was she at the Agganis Arena the other night for us?
That's the reason.
Nia was backstage.
Kalisto
need a job soon.
Kalisto retweets a lot of Sasha Banks stuff for some reason.
Oh, they're like best buddies on the road. When they were out, they were always together.
Oh, look at that.
So speaking of Sasha Banks, right?
Yeah.
If they're firing people for not being vaccinated,
she is now.
Oh, she is.
She's on the UK. Anybody on the UK tour has to be vaccinated. They don't let anyone go over there, and she's over there. That's the one thing the UK people are saying is they weren't going to let any Americans into the country unless they're fully vaccinated.
I'm still scrolling. I'm in June.
I'm in July. I would say I'm in July, and I can't scroll anymore.
I'll have to put the Jeopardy music on the bottom.
I wish there was a better way to do this. I don't really use Twitter.
I'm in January. I'm getting close.
All right.
Well, I'll let you handle that then.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Almost there.
He retweeted a tribute. This tribute to John Huber, spelt correctly, is incredible. And it's a picture, like when a downtown artist paints a picture on a wall, kind of thing. Like,
oh yeah,
So he said this tribute to John Huber is incredible. On January 4th,
like a week later.
And then let's see. Oh,
I mean, I feel like
so then December 31st, he retweeted WWE superstars remember the incredible life and career of John Luke Harbor Huber. Thank you, John. Spelt correctly. On December 31st, he said, hashtag Brody Lee forever. Love you, my brother. On December 26th, the day he died, love you, bro, with a emoji. This is a praying emoji. Hashtag rest in peace, Brody Lee. So.
Okay. So, I mean, maybe like,
it wasn't
like
a
Tom said,
thing,
they shared a locker room. You know what I mean? Like, so obviously they were close for, I mean, I'm not exactly sure how many years they worked together or whatever, but I mean, it could have been. But for it, like, I just feel like if it was like a mistake, you know what I mean? Like, just maybe the autocorrect doesn't,
Yep.
JON turns into JOHN.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it could have been that, but I
It's
feel
very
like
if he has another friend named John that he texts a lot or something like that,
right.
and you always
Yeah.
do JOHN, it will try to autocorrect if you're not
Or
looking
since he
quick
was
enough.
released, maybe John Laurinaitis. Oh, John Laurinaitis is a dick. Da 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 da.
Right. Could
It's
have been.
possible. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, but
Mhm.
I feel like for Amanda to still not attack him, but
It's got to be more to the story.
There's
right.
way more to it.
I feel like if she
It's
was,
just
you know
not
what
a
I mean,
simple
like,
spelling mistake.
right. If Jericho was just like, spelled his name or whatever, like Amanda could have been like, it's autocorrect, it happens or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Right.
for him,
Mhm.
for her to actually, be, I mean, and I can't be like say she's being touchy about it, but I know obviously she wants to, respect her husband's legacy
Yeah,
and whatnot.
yeah.
But I just, there definitely seems to be something like
we don't
another
know.
underlying issue. Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
So
for sure.
to compare, and obviously it's not on the same level, but I play way more softball than I should, and I am running in various softball circles. And a couple of
Sid
years ago,
Vicious?
there was
Yeah,
a couple of years ago there was a guy that I had played with, not on the same team, but played against, who had passed away. He had I don't want to reveal too much because I don't know the man that well,
Mhm.
but there were issues there, and he ended up dying. We've had tournaments for him and stuff. I've played against him. I've seen him. I may have interacted with him very briefly
Sure.
here and there. That doesn't mean I know the man. So it could be the
Mhm.
same situation. So if I were to get on the team that he was on and throw out there, and here's the thing, I don't even remember the guy's name. So that tells you something, right? But if I were to throw the same tweet out there or whatever, I would fully expect, if I spelled the name wrong, for his woman, I don't know if he was married. See, this thing,
Sure.
I barely know the guy.
Right.
I would fully expect her to come at me.
Mhm.
Because it does call out the fact that I really truly didn't know him, and I
Yeah.
didn't,
Right.
and I
right.
wouldn't have put a tweet like that anyway. I saw that he had passed and was sad because I literally had just seen him the week before,
Mhm.
but that was it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's
Right.
where the underlying issue. Maybe it's a similar thing. It's like, all right, they shared a locker room together, but they never once hung out. They never had a meal
Right.
together. They never
Mhm.
really had conversations together. But yet, here's this thing.
Right. I mean, they were former co-workers, like, I mean, they could have been, casual friends or whatever.
Sure.
Just,
Sure. I'm sure they had matches together.
but it's like, like Tom said, he's not, when dude passed away, Tom's not going to be like, this guy was, my mentor in softball, and you know what I mean? It's just this,
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
He taught me everything he knew.
yeah,
Mhm.
he was
I mean,
my
I'm pretty
softball
sure-
idol. Like,
I'm pretty sure he got a double off us, and I called him. No, that's just me.
so yeah, the people that just kind of do that kind of, make it about themselves.
well, I
just-
just saw a headline from July 17th, 2021. Kalisto discusses reaching out to Brody Lee when he was struggling.
All right.
Hmm.
Let's
All
see.
right.
Former WWE superstar Kalisto has opened up about the last words he ever shared with his friend, the late Brody Lee, and
Who
how
are
he
you
reached
again,
out,
sir?
and how he reached out to Lee when he was in a bad place mentally. Kalisto suffered a serious shoulder injury in 2019. Blah 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 blah. So, and then he's talked about him. So
Mhm.
about when he got injured, and then 2 months before I got injured, I reached out to my good friend who has now passed, Brody Lee.
Maybe that's the issue. Maybe that never actually happened.
That'd be
Amanda
crazy.
Huber was
It's-
like,
You never
What's-
know. Could be.
what's this crap about?
Yeah.
Just
Or maybe
before
it
this
did happen and
interview-
she didn't know about it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. just before this interview, I was looking at the last text messages he sent me. It was the usual, "Hey, how are you? How's the family?"
Hold on, time out. Hold on. Just before this interview, I looked at the last text message you sent me. New phone, who dis? Whose number is this? Why are you texting me? Sorry, go ahead.
Wait. So hold that thought. Just before this interview, I was looking at the last text messages he sent me. It was the usual, "Hey, how are you? How is the family?" First of all, he was like, "Who is this? New number." NostraTOMus again.
Wow.
I was like, "It's
Huh.
Manny, bro, Callisto." He was then like, "Oh, hey, bro, what's
How
up?"
did you get my phone number?
I
Who
looked
gave
at
you
my
a-
response. I looked at my response and I responded to him, trying to reach God. Why did I text that? Man, I was in a bad place. His response was, "Oh, how's that going?" I'm like, "Oh, good, old Brody." Wow.
How's
Okay.
that
doesn't
working
sound
out
like
for you?
Brody.
That doesn't
Hey,
sound
how's that
good.
working out for you?
Wow.
This doesn't sound like a couple of guys who have a relationship.
No,
No, not at all.
no.
Who are you?
Well, that-
Oh,
God damn.
yeah, that guy.
That
Wonderful.
landed the plane then, I guess.
Wow.
He texted back, "I'm going to kick for giving you my phone number."
Oh,
He's texted every one of his friends. Who the phone number?
yeah. Whoever is dead to me. Oh,
Jesus.
Wow.
All right. Well, I think the picture has been painted, huh?
Right.